most famous double act in sport. We've had Anton Deck, or as Eddie's just said, Anton Bet. We've had Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. We've had Laurel and Hardy. We've had Woodward and Bernstein. Now we have Coulthard and Jordan. Chaps, were you surprised by just what a hit you were in your first year together as TV punditry?
The fact that I didn't hit him, as you rightly said, on air in itself is nearly as big a miracle as me not swearing on air. But then we do have a hidden little love affair between each other, which the people haven't quite sussed yet.
I think you're wrong, actually. I think it's one of the worst kept secrets in...
You think so?
I do, yeah. What do you think, DC?
Well, what I would say is, Ian, what you've managed to do is something that only the BBC can do with the might of the BBC, is get us standing beside each other for more than a few minutes. This is the first time I've been as close to Eddie since Abu Dhabi. When we left after the final Grand Prix, I was glad to see the back of him, because honestly, he just steals my airtime. He asked me questions before we go on air, and all he's doing really, and I've realised it, is he's just nicking my material. You know, all that hard-earned information from being out on the racetrack.
Before you went into your little crazy escapades about slagging David and I off, who insist on our friendship, you've come with a little pocket piece of nothing and trying to do a little mock-up TV show on the basis of being somebody important from the BBC, and I'd like to see your credentials, because I think you're nothing.
Which one of the two is the dominant one?
It depends in which act we are participating in at that given moment.
DC?
Is there an answer to that?
Well, when it comes to factual information relating to Grand Prix racing, that would be me. If it comes to Blarney and having kissed the Blarney Stone, if you need to send someone out in the paddock to get to Mr. Ecclestone and to grab a driver just when he's about to get in the car, Eddie's your man, because he's got the gift of the gab and the contacts to pull that off. If you want a factual answer, you have to come to me.
So how did it work? When you were approached by the BBC before the start of last season, how did it go? Eddie, we've got DC, or was it DC, we've got Eddie? And what was your gut feeling when you heard that happy news?
No, it was nothing like that at all. I just said, how much? You cannot be serious! It can't be that bad.
I don't remember, actually. You know, I first had the conversation during the middle of the 2008 season, so at that point you'd been out of Formula 1 for a couple of years already. So I guess I didn't even ask, you know, who the other person was going to be. But in the end, I think in all seriousness, I think it worked really well, the fact that, you know, Eddie, having taken a racing team out of Formula 3000 or from Formula 4 days and brought it into a Grand Prix racing team and to be a winning Grand Prix team, I think he's in the best position really to give that point of view as a team principal.
Very nice of you.
Yeah.
You never drove for Eddie, did you?
No, that's why I had a long and successful career.
Lucky.
Is there a reason?
He is so rich now.
It would have cost me a fortune to drive for Eddie.
We had a close skirmish. I think we did sat down to negotiate it with his then manager, Tim Wright, and that was Monza. And how lucky David Coulthard, he went on to win a lot of Grand Prix, became probably the most... Are you the most successful British in terms of wins?
No, that would be Jim Clark, Nigel Mansell, Jackie Stewart.
Points.
Points.
Oh, there you see.
That's going to be blown out of the water.
Statisticians.
Yeah.
But
I think the phrase is longevity you're looking for there.
David came, and I think we did try to work with each other. It didn't happen. He went his way for all the right reasons, and we went our way for the right reasons. And the fact that we're able to communicate on air, and I promised him very faithfully I would never tell you the story about his father and his mother in Australia, so on that basis I'm not going to tell you about that. We nevertheless are still extremely good friends, and we only beat each other up on television.
Now, joking apart, hell of a season ahead of us. I can't think of a start of a season as exciting as this. Can you explain to the viewers why it is so exciting, why you are so excited, apart from the fact that you're back together again?
Well, for me, if I can go first, it's about
you usually do.
Strength and depth across the top teams. You know, you don't just have one dominant driver in each of those teams, and you know, then we've got to see which of the cars are the quickest. you've got the story of, is Schumacher going to be at the same form he was when he last was in Formula 1, and is Rosberg really the coming talent that some suggest? Is Jenson Button going to be able to beat Lewis Hamilton within the McLaren team, of which he's been a part of for many years? Fernando Alonso alongside Massa after he's come back from that very frightening shunt in Budapest. Of course, Red Bull, the top team at the end of last season with Sebastian Vettel, Mark Webber, the comeback of Mercedes, the leaving of BMW and Toyota. There's just so many stories there. It's a great script for a movie, and I'm looking forward to being able to share it with everyone.
Hard to see a winner, Eddie? Or not?
Very hard to see a winner. I mean, we all have our little favourites, or just an inkling. As a punter, you look at all the horses in the paddock and you pick one, or you get the pin out of whatever it is. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you're not. There's just one other thing that I think may change this year, before I go and answer my own particular forecast. I think that, which heretofore was never really considered, and that is the Constructors' Championship. There are now so many good teams, just like what David has described, that it will be really very hard to pick out who is going to be the constructor next year, who will win that championship, because there is such strength and depth in each of those teams. And I think it will be a big fight. Red Bull, McLaren, of course Ferrari, and they are probably three big protagonists. I'm sure there's others as well who see themselves getting into that little group. But I have a feeling that the pressure coming from having a Button in the team, McLaren the way they finished last year, without having the added pressure of a major manufacturer like Mercedes alongside them, but yet having the benefit of the engine, I think that Hamilton can just sneak it.
Oh, Hamilton's your tip then, yeah?
I think
just, yeah. Okay.
All of that was in one breath as well. This man has got lungs the size of a sperm whale.
Well, rather, you had to say a sperm whale, didn't you? Any other whale, but it had to
Why
be...
did that word come suddenly rushing into your mind?
It's because the papers are all full of John Terry at the moment, so it just seemed topical.
Well, listen, to wrap up, guys.
This is for your consumption and not anyone else's.
No, I knew John Terry would come into this conversation. To wrap
Not by
up,
me, I'm a Chelsea boy.
good for you.
Most everyone else.
Now, chaps, just to finish off.
His performance, it's incredible.
Oh, it's like a married couple, you two, aren't you? Hey? Oh, well, in every sense. Just to finish,
he
then.
likes Queen of the South.
Yeah,
There's nothing to add to that comment, is there?
quality team.
So, final thing, I mean, joking apart again, are you sort of pleasantly surprised by how popular you two have become? I mean, when you first agreed to work for the BBC last year, work together, I don't suppose you believe, I'm sure you thought you'd be good, but how you seem to have become so popular with the fans as a double act?
I owe it all to him. He has made me yet again. He promised this time last year that he would. He delivered. 100%.
Yes, I still might be confused. It hasn't been a great surprise to me because I'm arrogant enough to think that we're going to do a good job. No, what's been remarkable is to see the feedback generally from the fans of Formula 1 to the BBC coverage. I think not having adverts is just fantastic for Formula 1. And I think the fact that you've not just got a other driver's point of view, you've got a team principal's point of view. Eddie's been there, done it. He's been in amongst the, what do you call it, the Piranha?
I am the Piranha Club.
You are the Piranha Club.
So it's your boss who called me that, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I think that we cover all the bases in terms of the experience. The only thing we're missing between us is the World Championship, but we rub shoulders with you.